What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Thank y'all so much for being here. So today I'm bringing something completely new to the channel, something I've literally never done before, and if I'm being quite honest, never thought I would do on this channel. So if you guys are ready, let's go ahead. Let's jump right in. All right, you guys. So like I said, first things first, it is, I'm hoping to get this video the night I'm filming it. I have no idea what time it's like 4:30 in the afternoon. And it has been I would say snow day here in Arkansas, but is literally more like for us here in Central Arkansas, like a sleet day. So an ice day, because I'll insert some pictures here in just a minute of our backyard, our front yard, that kind of thing, or maybe some video, quick video. But it's all sleet. It looks like snow. It's supposed to actually transition over to snow, I think, in the next couple hours, and maybe snow for a few hours. Probably not very heavy. I don't know. But yeah, so kids were at home today. My offices were closed, so I was home today. Chris is obviously always working from home, so he worked today. He just worked from home and is now doing some other stuff. But it gave me just kind of a day I really, if I'm being honest, truly needed. We have been going nonstop for like the past 3 weeks. Ever since 2022 began, we have just been having like go, had something going on almost every single night, whether it was basketball or gymnastics on the weekends, just so much stuff. And so I had made a kind of like goal for 2022 to read a book, at least one book every single month of 2022. And it got to be like literally January the 25th, and I realized like I hadn't even started one. I didn't even have one that I was like on my radar to read. And so I had been watching something, not exactly sure what, and had made a list of different books that sounded good, that were by, you know, kind of faith-based authors, or at least authors who believed in God and were Christians. And so I had added this book to my Amazon cart and saw it in there, and I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and order it. Had some Amazon gift cards. It was like $13, $14. I think I've got it was $14.49. And went ahead and just bought it. It came in that next day, and y'all, I have not been able to put this book down. And so I decided that I would just record a video and kind of give you my thoughts on this book, and I will try to do that once a month. That is my goal. Obviously it will probably be the end of the month or the beginning of the next month, because here we are, it's February the 3rd, and I don't have another book yet. So and just finished this one, but this is my January book, so we're gonna say that it still counts. But this is the book. It is called Believe It, How to Go from Underestimated to Unstoppable. And it's by Jamie Kern, I think that's Lima. And she's the founder of It Cosmetics. And so I actually love It Cosmetics. I have used their concealer. They have some under eye concealer. I actually need to get some more of it. I've used their, I call it Confidence Cream. That's probably not the name of it. But it's like a moisturizer. It's just really good stuff. And so I wish I could remember where I was watching, or what I was watching, or what I was reading that talked about this book. But I want to say that I actually Googled, or maybe did a search on YouTube, for authors or business people who were women but were also believers and also Christians, and just, you know, trying to basically run like a faith-based ministry, or company, that kind of thing, and which hers is not technically, It Cosmetics is not quote unquote a faith-based company, but if you read this book, you can purely 100% tell that is her faith in God, and it is God who got her to where she's at, and she is not afraid to talk about it. And so if you, I don't know, let me read a little bit of the foreword for it. It says, "Are you ready to believe in you? Imagine overcoming the things holding you back, breaking through the barrier of self-doubt, and fully becoming the person you were born to be." And so if I skip down a little bit, it says, "Faced with self-doubt, body doubt, and God doubt, down to her last few dollars and told no one is going to buy makeup from someone who has your body, Jamie reveals for the first time what really went down, how she almost didn't make it, how she learned to trust herself, and the powerful lessons you too can use to go from underestimated to unstoppable." And so to give y'all just a little bit of like insight into my brain and my life, I absolutely love hearing and reading stories of someone else's life. I like to hear, how they went through their hardships and got to where they're going. And so things like this where it talks about, not necessarily digging into like an autobiography of somebody or something like that, but I just like stories like this where you get to get in on the, the nitty gritty and like the dirt and the of life and see how she overcame it. And honestly, it's even a plus of when they give all credit to God for what happened. And so this book, you guys, was absolutely amazing. Like I said, I want to say I got this book last Friday on the 27th is when it came in. I think I ordered it on Wednesday and it came in on Friday. So I got this book on the 27th and read through, it's 18 chapters. And I mean, it's not super, Hayden was just kind of my son. He was just like, I couldn't read through that in a year, but I literally just could not put it down. It's really interesting in that all of the chapters literally start with believe it. And so there's 3 different parts to the book. Part 1 is believe, part 2 is risk, and part 3 is empower. And so like chapter 1, says, well, chapter 1 ends with believe it, but it says when your intuition talks to you, believe it. And then chapter 2, believe where you come from doesn't determine where you're going. And so as I started reading it, Jamie really talks about how she kind of, grew up in a loving family. They didn't always have a lot of money. And so she didn't come from like she didn't come from a rich background. She didn't come from like a well-known background. She literally just came from like a normal, everyday mom and dad and kid, background. She didn't have siblings that I recall. I don't think she had siblings growing up. Or they had a baby. That's what it was. They had a baby that ended up passing away. And so she had a sibling, but not growing up with, she didn't grow up with a sibling because the sibling died when she was like 9 days old. And so Jamie she never knew this sibling, but saw pictures and that kind of thing. And it wasn't until she was much older and actually, I want to say married, that she ends up finding out she was adopted. And she goes through just all these trials. And she has, when she's like a teenager, she ends up coming, y'all don't quote me on all this, and a teenager or young woman, she ends up having rosacea. She's never had it before, and then it just kind of comes up on her skin and on her face. And so she has a lot of, just kind of self-doubt and just lack of confidence because of this rosacea. She just struggles with a makeup that will cover this rosacea. And so in her living room, her and her husband decide that they are going to make a makeup that will cover this, that goes for all skin types. And that is what she wanted to do. She wanted to take on the beauty industry, because everywhere you look in the beauty industry, and this is so true, and I have noticed such a change and didn't realize, like, she's really probably one of the women we have to thank for this. But at one point in time, when you looked at makeup and when you looked at beauty industry, it was all on that outward appearance of, they had the model-esque body and the perfect skin tone and just all these things. And that's one of the things that really bugs me about like fitness is there's a part of me, like, I love or I don't love to work out, but I know I need to work out, but it's because my body, I need to feel better. I need to be healthier. And right now I've just kind of let my body go sluggish. But yet when you look at a lot of the workout industry, in the fitness industry. It's all these people who like don't actually look like they need to be working out. They're already fit, they're already toned, they've already done all this stuff. And it's like, I need to see somebody like me doing these workouts who can show me, if that person is doing it and look how awesome they're doing, that I can do this too. And so that's what she went after in the beauty industry. She wanted her models for her makeup to be real people. And so she went and she fought and heard no after no after no after no, and she fought because she knew and she believed in what, this dream that, God had given her about having this empire, I'd like to say, or this movement for women to just know that there are other women out there who look like them, who think like them, or who mainly who look like them, that it wasn't all this model-esque kind of, persona. And that's not what she wanted. She wanted It Cosmetics to be different. And so if y'all know anything about our family, you know that this just resonates with me so much, because that is our whole goal in ministry, is for it to be different and for it to be radical and just real and authentic. And she used authenticity a lot in this book. And we just want people to know, like, you don't have to be this uppity, holier than thou kind of person. You can live for God and be 100% sold out for Christ and still, like fashion and still like makeup and still like YouTube and social media and all those kind of things. But it's when you give that credit and you use those things for God, which is what she does. And I'll be honest, there was parts of the book that I kind of got into, and I was just really, trying to figure out where her faith was, and trying to figure out, and that's the type of person I am, is like investigating into it and wanting to know, like, how deep is her faith in God, and was it, if I'm being honest in a real review, was it something that was really authentic? Was her faith in God, or she just trying to kind of throw that in there? There's things that she says in here that I agree with, and I want to love everybody, but I may not agree with it to the depth that she does. And that's what is so awesome, because that's what this book is all about. It's just about loving people and being kind. And that's why I have my sweatshirt on that says being kind is cool. You can't see the is cool part, but that's what it talks about. And that's exactly the epitome of this book. It's just acceptance and loving everybody, because that's what God has called us to do. He's called us to love. And it's not even really, I've got so many different earmarks of pages that I kind of want to go back and take notes or highlight, because there were so many different things. But I wanted to read this because this was just really cool. She's got quotes all the way from different people all the way throughout, which y'all know I'm a quote girl. I love some quotes. Hold on, let me figure out where. She said, one of my greatest passions has always been championing, I think that's how you say that, other women. And that day, Carol sparked a new passion, a new level of passion for this in me. Whenever possible, I believe in bringing another woman as your plus one. And if you don't get a plus one, ask for one. Bring another woman to the table. And so that just spoke really highly to me. First off, because God has just really laid plus one on my heart. Here within the past 6 or 7 months, my husband did a whole sermon on, who is your plus one. And yeah, ultimately it's who is your plus one? Who are you going to bring to the table and, share Christ with? But it's who are you going to raise up? Who are you going to champion behind? Who are you going to applaud? Who are you going to, when they're having a difficult day, and you're going to be that person who goes up to them and just makes them feel like they matter and makes them feel seen. And she's very strong on that in this book. And it's really encouraged me and given me just this different perspective of how to use a platform for Christ in a way that I can still stand firm on my faith and stand firm in my beliefs and know what I believe and know what I stand behind, and be able to love other people the way that God loves people and the way that God sees people. And she says she would ask that, is God, give me opportunities to love today. God, give me opportunities for different things. And there's a time where she's actually standing up accepting an award for something. And literally, if you are a woman, who loves just encouraging, motivating, don't stop, keep going, keep pushing for what you know you want in life, and keep pushing for what you are dreaming for. And like, you are unstoppable. And, in my mind, as long as God's involved in it, you can't fail. And if you can't fail, why are you not? Why are you not pushing forward? And it was just so encouraging to me. And she asked this question. She says, what will you do with the power that is you? We all have such a power within inside of us. We all have the power of who we are. God has created us as unique individuals in our own shape, in our own form, with our own minds, with our own being. And He has created us, knit us together in our mother's wombs for a reason and a purpose. And so what are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with that power of who we are? What are you going to do with that power who is you? And when I read that question and that statement, I was just like, whoa. That's something. There is nobody else on the face of this earth that is you. Let me say that again because I feel like I stuttered it. There is no one else on the face of this earth created to be you. It's just you. What are you going to do with that power? That is such power. God created you to be who you are, and to be who you are for a reason. And so what are you going to do with it? Are you just going to let it sit back and let it just kind of, go by the wayside and just, mundane day to day? No, God created for you to do something great. Whether that is being an amazing, awesome school teacher, or an awesome, for me, like a payroll clerk or a secretary, or maybe you're a founder of a beauty brand, or maybe you are a social media influencer, or maybe you're a police officer, maybe you're a, fireman, maybe you're a pastor, maybe you're a mom who homeschools your kids, or maybe you're a wife to that husband who needs that support, or maybe you're that encourager to that friend who just isn't feeling their best right now. Maybe you're that person who just smiles. Maybe you're that person who just walks down the street and, hands out a gift card to somebody. You were created for a purpose. And so what are you going to do with that power? And that's just motivating. And y'all, this is what this entire book is about, is believe it. That you can go from underestimated, and a lot of that times that's our own selves who are underestimating ourselves, and you can go from that to unstoppable. And so it is such a good book. And I don't necessarily admire and look up to a lot of the people that she does, but she just has such amazing, great stories in here, and just beautiful testimony of what never giving up and not quitting can do. And especially with God in the picture, especially with Him leading and directing the path. And she goes back and we get to chapter, I think it's 17, I believe. Let me see. Yes, it's chapter 17. It says, believe in a power greater than yourself. And this chapter literally just is where she flat out is like, I give credit to God for what He did. For every single thing. It is all because of the Lord, was intertwined throughout the entire thing. And she has a quote in here, and I wish I would have, I'm going to find it. I know I'm going to find it. Okay, yeah, here it is. So she has this quote in here, and it says, I'm partly self-made, but I'm mostly God-made. I made the commitment to work harder than I could imagine and to stay in faith. God made everything else. The favor, the open doors, the closed doors, the serendipitous connections, the grace beyond comprehension. So I think there's a lot of us who are sitting stuck. And I'm trying to figure out how to voice this to you guys, but I think a lot of us are sitting here and it's like we're ready and we're waiting on God to do something else, but we haven't made that commitment to work hard and put in the effort and put in the yes, I'm going to do this, and then staying connected with Him to let Him lead the way. God's waiting on a lot of us to just decide to make the commitment. And so I want to leave you with that. First, I want to tell you, I'm going to link this book down below on Amazon. I hope it's still available because a minute ago I was looking, it said there was one left, but I'm sure you can find it somewhere. I have a copy. If you're close by me and you want to borrow it, let me know. But I want to leave you with this question. For one, do you believe? Do you believe in that power that's greater than yourself? That power that is greater than yourself, that power that is God. Do you believe in that? Do you believe in him? Do you believe in him? Do you believe that if you make that commitment with him, to him, through him, that you can go from underestimated to unstoppable? Because he never underestimated. But then I want to ask you, and my challenge to you is to figure out, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on today to take that next step, to make that next move, to pick up the phone and make that next, cold call to figure out if it's going to be a yes or a no. Maybe you're going to get another no. Maybe you're going to get another 100 no's for whatever it is. But you're never going to get to that yes, that may be that 101st phone call, if you don't make those 101st phone calls to get all those no's. You're never going to get there. You've got to make that commitment. You've got to believe it. You've got to believe you're worth it. You've got to believe that you're enough. You've got to believe that with God, you can do anything as long as it's in his will. So, super good book. I have absolutely no idea, guys, if this is what a book review is supposed to go like. I just wanted to talk about it because it impacted me greatly. And so, Jamie Kern Lima, I have no idea if I just butchered your name. I apologize if I did. But if you ever watch this, which would be just like an act of God in itself, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of this little Arkansan's heart that you never gave up. And that even when you felt like it, you pushed through. And then you went as crazy as to write about it and relive it in a sense. And I just want to say thank you, because this has been a challenge book for me, not just in the sense of to getting up off my blessed assurance and getting busy and making that commitment, but also just the fact that y'all just read a book in like 5 days. And I can't tell you the last time I've made that commitment to finish it and wanted to do that. So here is to 2022. I've got 11 more books to go at least. Maybe there will be more. We'll see. And just have these chats. If y'all have any recommendations for books, drop them down in the comments. I would love to know and build them up. They don't all have to be like books like this. I would prefer that they have some kind of faith base to them, just because that's what helps me and that's what encourages and motivates me the most, because God is what I base everything off of. And so definitely would like that. But if you have something that's not, or you're just not sure, drop it down below. I would love to know. This has motivated me so much to like start picking up books more often, and just to, it's just so motivating and so encouraging. So yeah, I'm excited. I can't even form sentences at the moment. So I'm going to sip on my hot chocolate. Y'all look at my cute mug that I made myself. And yeah, hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see what tomorrow holds for our family. I know the kids are already going to be at home again tomorrow because of the roads are horrible. So I may be as well, because your girl don't drive good in this mess. But hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. If y'all are up for taking this crazy journey with me here on YouTube, then definitely click that subscribe button. We would love to have you here as part of the Radiant Child family. So one of my sisters. And yeah, just definitely, you can also click the little bell. It'll give you an email notification anytime I post a new video. And then definitely, if you liked this one, if you're going to try this book out, give it a big thumbs up. If you've read it, let me know what you thought. Drop your book comments, your suggestions in the comments below. And that's all I got for you guys. So hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Love y'all. And until next time, bye y'all.